Hello again, everyone. So we continue our subject of object-oriented. Last time we created a class, we called it a grocery item. And this class is essentially a factory that produces objects of a very specific type. So now we're looking at grocery items, and these grocery items are going to be manufactured inside this class, and every one of them will have the same attribute and the same properties that they all have in common. And we saw this before. We actually created a class using the keyword class like that, and then we've given it a unique name like we do everything with every variable and every data type that we used before. So here we're going to use grocery item like that. And in the grocery item here, remember we mentioned that we have to have properties like a price and a quantity, maybe a weight, description, and so on. And these guys, these quantities or these properties have to be initialized in a way, or have to be customized in a way that if a tomato, when you look at a tomato, it is indeed a tomato. It's not coded differently. When you look at a can of beans, it doesn't say it's can of corn. When you look at olive oil, it doesn't say it's corn oil. So everything must be instantiated, must hold the values that they describe them the best. So now I want to make sure that my class here has a description, and these are comments, so these are not part of the program. So the class will have a description. We'll also have a price, we'll have a barcode, and we'll have a quantity like that. Okay, so now remember, when you want to construct an item, you want to construct it entirely as a whole. You don't want to construct it as tiny little bits and pieces of information. So Python gives us a very special function or a method, you can use them interchangeably, called init, the underscore init like that, and then underscore, and then you open and close the parentheses because it's a function. And this function takes a very special parameter called self, and it takes anything else you want to give it as part of the description of your class. So if your class has a description and a price and a barcode and a quantity, you should pass these guys so you can actually initialize the properties that belong to this class. Well, where are these properties? The properties are going to be coming from this self here. The self here is a reference to the object that you're just creating. So this object here has description and a price and barcode and quantity. What about these guys? These are the values that you're going to be getting from the outside world. And the outside world is going to, like, remember when we had to prompt the user to enter some values from the keyboard, and then we use these values to populate variables. That's the same thing, but right now we're dealing with an object of type grocery item, and this object has properties. How do we distinguish between this and the object? Is using the self keyword. And now we use a dot operator here, and to make it really clear, I'm going to use underscore description to make sure that you know the difference between the properties that belong to the class and the actual parameters that we're going to use to populate these properties of the class. So self dot price underscore price like that, and the value of the object price is going to come from the parameter here like that, and then self dot underscore barcode like that. So this is the property that belongs to the object of type grocery item, is going to be coming from the barcode here, and then self dot underscore quantity like that. This is going to be coming from the parameter here that we're passing. So now this function here is a very special function, and let me show you why it is a very special function. It's because but in order for me to show you, I have to define one more function. I'm going to define a function called get description, and this function is also gonna take the self, so it can give me the self description of the object, like that. And as you can see, I use the same variable here and here that belong to the class. I didn't use this one. This is a parameter, it's not a variable, it's not a property or attribute that belongs to the class. So if I do this, I should be returning that, return like this. And then if I run this guy here, I now have an object. I now created a class. Now how do I create objects of type class, of type grocery item class? Here's what I can do. The object is a variable, so it's gonna be like a carrots, and the variable will also use the same class name. This variable, the object here, will use the class name to be populated, so it can pass an object to this guy here, to the carrot. So now if I do this, then I basically made the class look like a function. But this class here that looks like a function has a very special name. It's actually called the constructor. This constructor, when it is called, it immediately calls the init function here, or init function. Now what we need to do, we need to pass a description, say red carrots or something, and the price is $3.99. The barcode is 1234 dot ABCD, something just to get us going. And the quantity, say I want 5 bags of those. So now I created an object. Now let me show you the description of this object to demonstrate. Get the description, and clearly here something is not right. Because here it is with an N, I'm sorry, and here is without an N. So now, as you can see, we are able to get that description that belongs to the object that we created. Okay, so now if I want to get if I want to get the carrots object, and I want to get the barcode, get barcode, would that work? Of course not. Well, because we did not define a function called a barcode. Yes, we have these attributes here inside, or properties, but we have to expose them using the, remember we mentioned the word information hiding last time. So this is how we were able to hide information, but now we need a way to expose them. So now if I say get me the barcode like that, and I use the self function, the self reference, so I'm gonna use the self here, dot underscore underscore barcode, and I need to return that like this. And if I run it one more time and then I click on get barcode, it gives me exactly the barcode that I entered here. All right. Okay, well, so we've seen the set and get methods last time. We did get the description, get the barcode, get the price. Let's get the price and get the quantity too, because those are a really key component here for the thing that I need to do next. Get the price. So we're gonna have a get price function that is also gonna take the self and is going to return the self dot underscore underscore price. And I'm going to define another function that's called get the quantity, like that, and it's gonna take the self, and I'm going to return self dot underscore underscore quantity, like this. So now I'm able to get the price and the quantity and everything else. Let me make sure that we have the carrots price, and then get the price like that. Well, we need to run it one more time, and then this is my price. Now if I want to get the description, carrots, we got the description. We need the quantity. I'm sorry, get quantity like that, and it's a function. It gives me 5 of those. Okay, so this is good. We learned something really new and something cool, but it's also boring. So I build all these classes so I can just get back the properties because I didn't want to see them. Heck no, I gotta have more things to work with as opposed to just hiding information. I can make agreement with my classmates or my teammates to declare variables of a specific order, so I don't have to declare all these very long classes if this is all I got. Well, guess not. That's not the whole story. There is a lot more to receive from object-oriented than what meets the eye. So let me show you now. We can actually create a function that calculates the total price, and that's gonna be a total price for this specific item. And if I want to say this specific item here, then I'm going to use the dot price times, did I call it prints? I always call it prints. I don't know why. Okay, so now I hope there are no more princes here or frogs. So this is the price, and now I want to get the self dot underscore underscore quantity like that, and this can be, I could return them right away and that would work, but I like the idea of doing steps, so it makes sense. So now I'm gonna get the total before, that's definitely before tax, right? And I'm going to return, and this is a local variable. This is not part of the properties here. That's why it's not using this is not using that self keyword, because it's a local variable. It belongs to the function. It does not belong to the class. So now if I compile this one more time like that, if I want to get the total before tax, total price like that for the carrots, what do you think I'm gonna get that, or what is it that I'm gonna get? I'm probably gonna get 5 times 4, almost 20. So that would be like 19.95 or something. Very good, exactly 19.95. Okay, so this give me now the total price. Imagine that. Imagine if it was way too complicated inside here, and you did not need to worry about all these details, and you don't have to stare at them. You just call this function and it gives you the total price right away. Suppose I want to, can I create more than one object from the same class? Of course. Remember, it's a factory. The factory does not only produce a single car and then it goes back to sleep. It will be bankrupt tomorrow. But we can create new factory. You can create new items as long as the factory is operating. Potatoes like that, and then I'm gonna use my constructor from before to save me some time. So that would be organic potatoes like that, and the price, clearly organic is a little bit more expensive. And then I'm just gonna do something here to change this and make this 4. And now I also would like to get some tomatoes like this, and I like green tomatoes, why not? Tomatoes like that, and they are really inexpensive at the farmers market, so when it's open, obviously. So let's like that, just anything to make it just unique, and then we're gonna get 5 of those. Okay, so if I run, well, I make sure I'm gonna run this guy first, and now if I run these 3 guys, then I have 3 different objects. Let me get the total price for the potatoes. Get total what's going on, get total price like that. Because it's calc, not get. So now, as you can see, this is 1996 for well, makes sense. 4 times 5 is almost 20, minus 4 cents, so that's why it's 96. Very good. And now we can also get the calculate the total price for the tomatoes, and it has to be declared as the same way here. So in case I made a mistake, now we calc the total price for the tomatoes is $6.45. Very good. Now, how do I know that this is actually the total price for the tomatoes? And why don't I just do this here like that? Price. Sorry, I'm gonna do the print statement, and I am going to use the object, the same object name. Well, if I want to get the potatoes, the description for this item here, I have to use the object. So it's gonna be get description. I apologize. Get description like that. And because it's a function, it needs these guys. And then I also want to make sure that the price that I'm getting is indeed the price for the tomatoes. So this is the tomato object like that. And then I'm gonna call get description like this, and I'm gonna put a comma because it's a print statement. Print like that. So if I call this, it tells me that this is my organic potatoes, and it indeed the potato object that I'm operating. So let me try this and see if this is good. If the tomatoes are going to give me tomatoes, green tomatoes, which is really exactly what we did here. Object-oriented is a really fun topic, and it helps you to create your own libraries, and you embed your own, you implement your own algorithms. Clearly, we can do a lot more with the calculate total price. We can also calculate the price after tax, and the function will have to take another parameter, which is the tax rate. We can also add another parameter, but that will be another topic for another advanced lecture. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any comments. Shoot me an email, and as always, thanks for watching.